So I'm going to kind of propose this, and anybody that feels like they can answer this, jump in. What other communities are natural allies to the paleo movement, and how can we better reach out to them?
I look at how many people can be invited to play with us, because I don't like this sort of elitist nature that some people within the community take on, partly because it's kind of a cool thing and I got a secret and I'm not going to tell you. I'd like to conversely invite as many people to play with us as possible. So in my way of thinking, that means going to, say, the gluten-free people, which is a tangential set of people that's already established a pretty significant force as an economic force in terms of buying ability, and say, all right, let's come on in. Let's see where we have these common areas. Let's share some ideas with regard to eating strategies and philosophies. And by the way, we got some things about sleep and sun exposure that you'd probably glom onto pretty nicely. So I want to kind of expand the circle gradually by bringing in other confirmed markets that exist, and then say, okay, if we can all then harness this power that we have as consumers, and this goes back to Rob's acknowledgement about the farm-to-consumer concept. If we can vote with our wallets, that's probably the greatest strength that we have.
Awesome. Anyone else?
I was going to say, I think it's also fascinating to look at, let's say, a Weight Watchers, which is a company that has a $1.5 billion market capitalization, and they have over, I think it's 30,000 or 28,000 employees across 28 or 30 countries. And just the scope and the reach that a company like that has, which has no real diet. Their message is one of just count calories. And if you look at what we, Weston A. Price, vegans, vegetarians all share, is a focus on the quality of what one is eating rather than the sheer quantity of calories one is eating. So, but what they've been able to do is they penetrate corporate cultures because they have this sort of agnostic system, which isn't diet specific. So if we could somehow have the agnostic food quality system, that just is really a freedom for consumers to choose for the first time in history. You can count calories, that's one approach, and it works for 4.6% of the population, studies show. Or you can eat an unlimited quantity of high quality food. And that message seems like one that could really change our country and our world. So.
Agreed.
I could just add a little bit. On our farm, we include recipes with everything, and we do cooking classes, and it's not always, some people know that I'm paleo, but I don't, like in my town, I don't really market myself as paleo, and we just do classes. I do classes on just bone broth and real foods, things like that. And then if they probe, or if they ask, I go a little bit deeper. And also just getting teenage girls into the kitchen and teaching, that's just a focus that I have. So just kind of getting people into the kitchen and getting them cooking and getting them appreciating quality.